Hello, my name is Lindsay Odell. This is my reflection on our interview project, Part E for Business Management. I interviewed someone by the name of Miss Christy Chilton. She is an online navigation manager for Lowe's corporate office here in Mooresville, North Carolina. I'm going to be reviewing or kind of looking over my shifty eyes to some of my notes. So please excuse that within this video just to make sure that I cover all the pieces that need to be covered. So my interest in her managerial role at Lowe's is mainly just because of the size of the corporation. So Lowe's is a huge industry. They have big box stores all over the country and sell tons of home improvement products. She manages a specific team within the digital frame, so within their .com sales, which obviously we all know how much online selling and e-commerce has taken a huge grab across the world, really, when it comes to selling and retail. So big box stores are closing all over the place, and retail stores and malls, everything is inevitably shutting down because of the e-commerce world. So she is on the cusp of all change, I think, across global retail sales. My past workings also were with her team in a cross-functional capacity. So I used to work at Lowe's a few years ago before I decided to stay home with my children, and worked in a project management type of position. So with that, I didn't ever actually work directly with her teammates or her subordinates or those who answered to her, or direct reports, whatever you want to call them. I worked with her more in an update capacity. So I would run the projects and she would just partner with me cross-functionally. So where I needed her team to perform something, she would divvy out that work and she would report back to me, or I would check in with her as things kind of progressed to make sure that her portion of that project was on track. So I wanted to know a little bit more about the behind the scenes stuff, the pieces that her direct reports were doing for her to get her those results, to get that information back to me. So I also personally wanted to explore if managing people was something that I could see in my future. So in the past, I have done a lot of project management. I've had one position in a previous company where I did manage people. Had a crew of people below me for several years, but I was much younger and kind of straight out of school, and I think I had a very different attitude and a very different outlook. So I'm not sure, looking back, that I probably managed to the best of my ability and to the best that I should have, or to the capabilities that I have today after having the amount of work experience that I've now got. So I wanted to also see, if managing people is something I want to do, is building and growing development and developing a team and developing career paths of those people something that I really want to do in the future. So what impressed me the least or the most about her job? Mainly, I think a lot of the things impressed me more than did not impress me. So her focus on leadership and on motivation of her team and her functions of management there, just leading. She had such a huge focus on making sure that her team had every single thing that they needed to get the work done at all times. She was fearless in approaching her superiors if they ever needed anything. Some people, in a management position, and I've seen it myself in the past, they're almost afraid to go to a superior and say, hey, we need this, we need X to get Y done. She never has that issue. Her confidence, you can see it in her face when she talks about her work, her passion for her work, her leadership skills. For her, it is just all about making sure that those people are able to do the job that she expects them to do, but she knows the responsibility with that lies a lot in how she handles them. Something else, kind of like I just said, were her ideals on managing up. She talked a lot about managing up and making sure that she was confident. And when she went those approaches, she couldn't, really seem like she didn't know, because they know her as a subject matter expert. So she is the expert in her field, and even her superiors know that what she needs to deliver that work, they trust her completely, and they will give her whatever she needs because she has set that expectation with them. Her ability to put the needs of the organization ahead of her own, like her personal time, her work-life balance. She actually canceled our interview 2 different times before we got to sit down. Reason being because things came up with work and she just couldn't do it. The organization has to come first, which I completely understood and was very open to changing things around for her both times that she needed it. That being said, I think that's the double-edged sword for me. I have two small children at home. I left the workforce to raise my two small babies and be very involved in their lives. And I do plan to enter back into the workforce when they start school here in the next couple years. But I am looking for a position that work is work and it's rewarding while I'm there, but it does not require me to self-sacrifice large portions of my life and of my day and of my time where I have to take that away from my family. Everyone's different, and some people don't worry about those kinds of things, and their rewards, even when they have families, they are self-rewarded by their growth at work and their position, their career, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think my personality specifically, I am more family focused. It is more important to me. I am more fulfilled by my home life and by my life with my children and the time that I get to spend with them than I am by a career right now. That may change as they get older and maybe don't want to be around me as much, but right now that's where I am. The organization does put a lot of pressure on her and have some high standards for level of completion. So she did say that she works a lot more than 40 hours, sometimes very early in the morning, sometimes very late at night. She's on her computer doing things. And I respect her over and above for taking that on, but I don't think that's something that I want to personally do. Personal reflections around completing the SWOT analysis. I really enjoyed the SWOT analysis. I think it takes a lot of self-confidence to not only be able to state your strengths, but specifically state your weaknesses. So SWOT analysis was new to me this semester. I had never heard of it. So the added pieces that I had definitely heard about knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. I think that's something that's preached at us for our entire lives, really. But really taking into account the opportunities and the threats of situations. I don't think that was something that I was ever really aware of, but now it's added a piece of a puzzle pretty much, or two big pieces of a puzzle that I can add when I'm looking at my strengths and weaknesses to also assess some other things. And that could be when I'm looking for a job again in the future, or even when I'm in a position, obviously, and trying to work on a project, or just looking through a situation itself. So overall, I got a lot. I feel like out of our interview project, I really enjoyed working with Miss Chilton. I feel like I created a fantastic, strengthened really, a networking bond with her that I will hopefully be able to use in the future when I go back to work. But all in all, I really enjoyed this project. So thank you very much. Bye.